Hello and welcome to the 44th episode of Growing Up Geek, the weekly podcast for geek entertainment and nostalgia. My name is Brad and I am joined, as always, by professional Jack Black impersonator, my brother Rob.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Was that a good Jack Black? I don't know.
Yeah, and
maybe I should do like a...
Whoa!
That's kind of a pterodactyl, but anyways.
Yeah, why don't you tell them the story?
Every once in a while, just people will pull me over and be like, you look just like Jack Black.
Yes.
But I received affirmation of a higher kind.
Right.
Just a few weeks ago. I was at a concert here in the Philadelphia area, and just so happened Bam Margera from Viva La Bam and MTV's Jackass, as in the donkey. He was there, and my girlfriend introduced herself to him,
right.
And then I was with her, and he looks at me and just goes, "You look just like Jack Black."
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And he's like, I didn't know the guy personally, but one time he gave me a ride. So there it is, a guy who actually literally knows Jack Black.
Yeah, I think it was the beard that really started it.
Right.
But the more I look at you and the more time goes on, I think the transformation is nearly complete.
The metamorphosis is reaching its apex.
That's right.
I should become a professional Jack Black impersonator.
There you go.
Forget this show.
Yeah, that's how you rake in the big bucks.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Right, what's going on with you now?
Well, I you know what? Sometimes it's just enough is enough, I have to say. I went out to my mailbox and I got this mailer I have to read to you.
All right.
It's from Lens Crafters, and on the front it says, "With better lenses, see everything in high definition," referring to your eyes. You've seen high-definition television and high-definition radio.
The 8 high-definition windows from Windex.
Right. It's just a buzzword, and now I just imagine a scenario where, like, a Comcast employee is installing a high-def TV. Are your eyes in high definition? It just gave me the creeps.
Well, yeah, I mean, it does. It sounds like one of those buzzwords, just like late 80s, early 90s. VR was the thing.
Interactive.
Got my SD eyes just bogging me down here.
Yeah, so we will move on now. Normally, this is the place where we would share our favorite geek news stories of the week. However, this week there's been a lot of news with Tokyo Game Show, or TGS, going on in, Tokyo. Blizzard held BlizzCon, which is a big event that they have. And so if you're like me, you've been probably watching a lot of teaser videos for upcoming games. So we decided this week we're just going to take a bunch of those and sort of give our thoughts on it. A teaser-rama, if you will.
That doesn't sound quite, PG, but all right, let's do this.
So we've picked 4 of our favorite teasers. Let's go ahead and jump right into it with Halo 3 Recon. Bungie has been keeping their Halo follow-up a secret ever since they left Microsoft, and just recently it was revealed that they will be doing a new Halo 3 campaign.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the teaser trailer for this?
I was, very fascinated with it. I guess this is a smart thing to do. For the Halo franchise to live on, you got to move away from the core story now that was told with Master Chief.
Yeah, you're kind of a Halo fan, I think it's safe to say.
Well, yeah, I've played all 3 and enjoyed a little multiplayer, and so I think that this is a smart move, and I'm glad that Bungie's doing it still. I'm glad that it hasn't been outsourced yet.
Yeah,
they've introduced a new character. He's equally as enigmatic as Master Chief, and also something I noticed when it started up was the presentation seems cleaner. Like the colors almost looked like cell shaded paintings or backdrops rather than the kind of Halo 3 look.
Yeah, it does look kind of different that way. I think this teaser is pretty much pre-rendered graphics. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to translate over into the game, maybe.
Yeah, this game is supposedly not due all the way until next fall, so we're getting a very early look here now. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much more Halo I really need.
Right.
I wasn't ultra thrilled with Halo 3, at least, compared to the amazing games that came out in the same season. But I will say that getting away from the Master Chief thing is probably a smart move.
Yeah, and this will probably be, I predict that this is going to be DLC.
Actually, your prediction has failed already. I'm sorry.
Dang it.
Yeah. No. Everybody was predicting that, but then just recently they announced that it is a retail box. Halo 3 Recon. Probably going to charge $60.
So it's a full game.
Yeah.
Hopefully then it's not just like a short episode. Although I was kind of disappointed. I was sort of hoping it was Peter Jackson's uncertain sort of movie-esque game
We don't know what that's supposed to be still.
Well,
Gosh.
I love that because I think it was like they were just talking about it backstage. stage, and he just walked out and was like, yeah, I think I might do this. And everybody's just like, yeah!
Yeah, Peter Jackson sort of hinted at a Halo project a while ago, and anyway, that has yet to become a reality. So that is Halo 3 Recon.
Right.
Moving on to the next teaser in our list here, we're going to talk about Vigilante 8 Arcade, one of our favorite PlayStation games.
Yeah.
Back whenever we were rocking the PS1.
Definitely.
Was Luxaflux creation called Vigilante 8. Luxaflux, by the way, just a developer that I haven't thought of in forever.
Yeah.
And here is their Xbox Live Arcade version of that classic car combat game. What were your thoughts on this preview?
Very excited about it. I mean, like, it seems like they took the PlayStation Classic and just kind of amped it up. You know, like it's not like a new game, which they've tried before. They've had sequels to Vigilante 8, and they've all kind of fallen short. But Vigilante 8, for those who don't know, was kind of like a cleaner Twisted Metal.
Yeah, more almost like a 70s kind of style, like in a feel.
Well, it was 80s, I think, because Vigilante 76 was like the first.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. That's what I was thinking of. Oh, gosh, it's been so long.
But the big difference between that and like Twisted Metal was it was a lot more wide open with what you could do. Like there was just rolling hills and
pretty fun vehicle combinations too. They had like a trailer and a Corvette with like a missile launcher on the side.
Exactly.
We would do like the 4-player split screen, and I don't know about you, when that comes up in the preview, they say 4-player split screen. I was like, oh man, that takes me back right there.
You know, although today that's kind of outdated. You're like, I'd rather run it over a LAN, thank you.
Oh yeah, and it will be online, obviously.
That'd be sweet. Which you know, think about it. That wasn't there when we had the PlayStation version. That might make it like all the more intense, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm kind of looking forward to. Is now we're playing on our 56-inch HD TVs, you know, in various parts of the state. And to me, you know, it's looking a little bit dated, obviously. But this just really feels like the year that everything is being done right when it comes to nostalgia. There's so many remakes of classic games, like Bionic Commando is really being given the star treatment and everything. It just feels like, you know, what a great time to reminisce and have people polish up your old games. So I just felt proud to have played that and then, you know, see this. So it's coming out for 800 points, I think.
Yeah, they said probably the best use of 800 points. They compared it like with gas prices going up.
Yeah.
You know, at least you can afford this amazing game.
Right, exactly. So that is Vigilante 8 Arcade, and moving on. This is probably the most confusing of the teasers, but no less exciting. Noby Noby Boy, a PlayStation 3 exclusive game from Kita Takahashi, who is the famous developer of Katamari Damacy.
Yeah.
And this is rumored to be a downloadable game as well. But I have to say, next to Wipeout HD, this is the game that has me most excited about PlayStation 3. And that is really weird because this trailer... How would you describe it?
Is this even a game? You know?
Yeah.
Like, it looks like some sort of retro thing you see, like, next to Tron or, you know, whatever. But
okay, let's describe it. Let's do radio theater here. So you've got kind of like a worm-shaped character. His body is segmented into various balls, and he's flying his way up through a collection of blocks.
Big square pixels.
Yeah, Amber and I are huge Katamari fans. And so we're looking at this, you know, kind of trying to figure out how you would play this. I mean, he's ramming into all these blocks, and it looks like he's having a lot of fun, but I can't... At first, it looks like he's trying to avoid the blocks, like sort of an operation type of thing, if you ever played that old tabletop game. And then he starts smashing into them, and I can't tell if he's earning points or what, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, are there certain blocks you avoid and certain blocks you hit, or is this just like a new idea on fun? It's just like, just do whatever... You know, it really it has like Atari looking graphics, but I mean, I'm excited to see what it does because he was able to do something so simple with Katamari Damacy, where it was just like you roll up a ball and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, and you're trying to get it to a certain size in a certain amount of time. So with this, it might be, smash up as many blocks as you can in a certain amount of time, or, I don't know, have as much joy as possible in a compact moment.
Exactly, and speaking of joy, 80% of the fun of this trailer is the amazing song that plays while he's smashing into things. And I have to say, if anybody wants to get me a Christmas present, the Katamari Damacy soundtrack, I've been looking to import that for such a long time because, oh man, that was such a good soundtrack. What did you think of the music in this trailer?
It was nice. It was some nice jazz going on there.
It like crescendos into like this amazing like choir of people saying Noby 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 Boy. You know,
Exactly.
It's awesome.
Which is also very Katamari, because Katamari was all different genres and just people just singing.
Yeah,
you
let's
know,
wub
like,
up to be.
Yeah. Weird stuff, but so addictive. And I guess
Yeah.
he's taking that same route with this. So definitely excited to just be freaked out in a weird dream that is Noby Noby Boy.
There's been a lot of games this past year that have been really great for stoners. You know, if you've looked at like Flower and Pixel Junk Eden and things like that, this may be right up there. You know, it's like, dude, Noby Boy.
I'm going to contest that idea. These games make stoning unnecessary.
Oh, there you go. A new anti-drug campaign.
Exactly. Don't do drugs. Do this game.
Noby Noby Boy is my anti-drug.
That.
So there you go. Okay,
Yes.
and for this last one, I have not shown you this.
No.
We're going to get your reaction on air,
All
as
right.
it were. When I saw this last teaser, which is actually an image, it's not a trailer, so I'm surprising you there.
All right.
It was as if 1,000 geek voices suddenly cried out. I'm going to send you them.
And we're suddenly silenced.
Well, we'll find out
All
if
right.
they're silenced. Click on
Okay.
this link.
Here it comes.
Okay, so the deal with this is BioWare, the makers of the Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect, have recently put out an invitation to an event that they're holding on Tuesday, October 21st. And this is the invitation.
BioWare and LucasArts invite you to attend the official unveiling of the game that's been rumored about for years.
To describe this to the audience, it's basically sort of a futuristic-looking room with a statue standing in the back. Now, we don't know what this is, I will say. This announcement obviously is on Tuesday. Lots of people have speculated about BioWare's follow-up to Knights of the Old Republic, or maybe a Star Wars role-playing game. Do you think this is that, looking at this preview?
I'll tell you this much. Okay, honest reactions. What I am expecting, because this is BioWare, and these images look familiar. You have very Sith-esque looking characters. I'm going to say that this is KOTOR 3.
Okay.
Knights of the Old Republic 3, to get away from the jargon. There's a rumor that Knights of the Old Republic 3 is in fact the new Star Wars massive multiplayer online RPG.
Right. I've heard that as well.
Yeah, that it's doing away with Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah.
It's a little more graphically friendly, especially from the look of these shots. Like, this isn't blow my mind off sort of graphics, but...
Relate to people, if you will, our Star Wars Galaxies experience.
Well, we were all excited about it because we just wanted to talk to an alien who's repairing droids. Like, when's that droid fixed? Just a...
The dream of any Star Wars nerd, yes.
Exactly. Is to yell at an alien fixing a droid.
Yeah.
But it turned out to not be so. We had incredibly slow latency, incredibly slow graphics. And then, in addition to that, the game sort of just catered to, like, one class, which was, like, the adventurer. But it had all these other classes. And so, like, we end up, like, I'm just playing, like, this same loop over again. Which is like,
gosh. You were a musician, which we thought would be amazing. But I just stood in a cantina watching you do, quote, flourishes for like an hour. And I thought, this is not a game.
I literally would leave the room and take my wireless keyboard with me and just hit the the function buttons to keep flourishes going while I was just doing other things in the house. Because I had to get my experience up. But then everybody had to also get people to watch them. So it was just like musical prostitution. It was just like, please click on me and choose.
Pity
Don't
clicks.
just stand there listening to the music and just like, oy. This is not Star Wars.
No, it was not Star Wars. My life consisted of kneeling in fields, digging up minerals, which, of course, we all remember that amazing scene from the Star Wars trilogy.
Exactly.
Until a Wookiee would just pity me and throw me a bone. Oh, God, Okay, so that was not the Star Wars MMO that we hoped it would
Everybody wanted to be a Jedi, but nobody could be because that didn't fit into the George Lucas canon.
Right, and
So-
I'm fine with that, I will say. I'm fine with there only being a few Jedi. That's the way it always has been.
But that's the danger of making MMOs based on established licenses.
Right.
Is because you have certain kind of elite classes or things that featured in the stories that everybody wants to be. Everybody wants to be the ring bearer,
Right.
but only one person can be.
True.
And so like they're all just end up being the extras, and that is not, worth a month subscription.
Yeah, so if this is a BioWare Star Wars MMO, what's one thing BioWare can do better?
Well, if it's like Knights of the Old Republic, it's set far enough away from that whole George Lucas concept that they can sort of build their own galaxy and really balance it out. Figure out, how do you balance Sith with Jedi, and how do you make that playing fun, because that's what it comes down to. It has to be fun.
Absolutely.
Either way, if it is Knights of the Old Republic 3 just proper, I'm still excited about that, because Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 were just phenomenal games.
And you really liked Mass Effect.
And I really liked Mass Effect. And I've beaten all 3, which isn't common when it comes to RPGs. But these games are at least, get me hooked enough where I'm like, I want to, keep playing until they're done,
Right. Well, we will find out Tuesday what exactly the deal is, and we'll see if maybe our fears or our hopes are realized.
Yeah.
And on that note, we are going to get ready to close out our show. But before we do, we always like to get a little nostalgic, reminisce about growing up geek. We're right in the thick of October here, coming up on Halloween. And I'd like to know, as a kid, what was the scariest show that you watched?
Okay. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes, there you go.
On Nickelodeon, they had the meeting of the Midnight Society or whatever, and these kids would grab this dust and blow it into a fire, and they would all hallucinate these stories.
Yeah, much like Noby Noby Boy.
Much like Noby Noby Boy, but a little more kid-friendly. This was around the time where I guess Goosebumps, the books, were really catching on.
Yeah, the child horror genre.
Exactly.
Which has escalated to new levels this year with, costumes for kids of things that I just saw a skater zombie costume for like an 8-year-old.
Wow.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was like Twilight Zone for starters.
Do you have a favorite episode real quick that you remember?
Well, I just remember one where this kid, he went to this summer camp, right? And then all of a sudden, like, people just started attacking him there. And he started to have to fend for himself, fighting back and setting traps. And eventually he learns how to survive on his own. And he has, like, a crossbow against, like, the camp counselor's head. And then all of a sudden his parents come out, and it's like a twist ending. And they're like, you did it. You've completed your training. He's like, what? He's like, you've shown that you can survive and you have the skills to be like a great soldier and stuff like that.
Right.
And he's like, wow. And they're like, now it's time to send you to your assignment. And they're like, what is it? He's like, it's to a place called Earth, filled with terrible people, that you're going to be hunting. It's just like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone. And that's very much like that. It's kind of cool that somebody had the foresight, or whatever you would call it, to introduce that to kids. The scariest thing that I ever saw on television, I clearly remember, was an episode of The X-Files called Home.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
This is still a horrifying... basically, there's a family of inbreeders. They're all deformed and everything, and they jump into the back of like this Cadillac, and they start driving down the road listening to this 50s song that's like, it's wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. And they come across a family whose door is unlocked. They break in, they kill the husband, and while the wife is hiding under the bed, his blood is puddling across the floor. She's trying to stay quiet as they sort of sniff their way through the room. It touches her finger, she screams, and they flip the bed over, and then you just see the house from the outside, and you hear that, it's wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Scared the crap out of me. And, of course, X-Files wasn't for kids, but I will never forget Home. The writers of that went on to make the movie Final Destination, which was not as scary, in my opinion. But, oh, gosh, that was some chilling television there. Yeah, that was because you expect, like, you're hiding under the bed, that they're going to poke their head down, like, lean down and be like, aha! But instead, you're just like, they detect her, and then they just flip the bed over and start beating her, and it's just like... That's overdrive. Yeah, it took away your safe zone. There's those things that you don't mess with, like hiding under the bed or whatever, or I don't know. People thought the shower was safe at one point. But anyway, so those are some scary geek memories from our childhood. Scary stories. And if you have any of your own and you would like to share them with us, you may. You can leave comments or email at our website, which is www.growing-up-geek.com. I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. So thank you for listening. Once again, my name is Brad.
Ain't nothing on earth gonna stop a convoy.
And we'll catch you next week.